skin.
So that started about 1934. So there's some crazy movies in 32, 33 that you can't even believe that were made then. And then they changed it. It got pretty restricted. And then, yes, the code was in place for a long time. So.
Well, Some Like It Hot was in 59, and so it was pretty risque for the time. And you also had said that you thought maybe that was the one where her skirt flies up, Marilyn Monroe's skirt flies up, and it's not. So I looked up what movie I was thinking about, and the movie I'm thinking about was The 7-Year Itch.
Which is a great film.
Okay, so you like that one.
It's very funny. Yes.
That's the one where her skirt flies up, and that is the one about trying to get out of New York because it's so hot in New York. And I remember where I saw it. I took a film class at the University of Kansas, and it was one of the films we had to watch.
There was a couple of films made. I think Tom Ewell was in one of them. And anyway, there are a couple of movies with Marilyn Monroe where she lives near or takes a shine to kind of goofy guys who are funny. There's one, and I think it's Tom Ewell. He has a wild fantasies about her and so on and so forth. They're funny movies. 7-Year Itch is a very good movie.
Well, it's 1955, so it's 4 years prior to the Some Like It Hot. So in 55...
It's hot when her skirt flies.
It's such a famous photo, right? We talked about Silence of the Lambs and the way that it was sort of a women's empowerment movie because Jodie Foster's in the FBI and she kind of gets looked down on because she's a woman and all this, right? So you asked me on the last pod to dig into that. So I did, okay? There were no real female FBI agents until 1972, okay?
That sure doesn't surprise me.
And you know why in 72 they started hiring?
Is that when Hoover died?
No. Yes, that is when Hoover died, but that's not why.
Well, I bet it's part of it.
Well, think Great Society, right? So that's when the Equal Employment Act was passed. Okay, so they basically had to. So they were basically left in their local field offices and not really allowed out until really into the 90s, late 80s and early 90s. Even today, there's only 25% of FBI special agents that are women. I mean, so still big disparity, okay? And the first assistant director was appointed in 1994. Okay.
Right. Well, I bet that more men go into law enforcement in general.
Yeah, it just makes sense.
That's just my guess.
But I would think that women would be better detectives in my humble opinion, in my experience. Women seem to be better listeners. They seem to be able to snuff out.
They're often the stars of the procedurals. So
they seem to be able to sniff out every time I'm not telling the truth. So
Hardigay's been sniffing them out for 20 years or whatever, how long that dumb show's been on.
Well, J. Edgar Hoover died in 72, as I previously said. He was in charge of the FBI for 48 years. Mm-hmm. Started it and only was replaced upon death. And you know why, in my opinion, it took death?
Well, I mean, he became so powerful, he was almost unfireable.
100%. He had so much on everybody. He's spying on all these politicians.
Right, even when he shouldn't have been.
Exactly. So, he had stuff on Kennedy. I guarantee he had stuff on Nixon, like stuff on Eisenhower. I mean, they're not getting rid of this guy. He's going to...
I don't know if he had anything on Eisenhower.
Was there anything to get on Eisenhower?
That's what I meant. I don't know if... although I think that Eisenhower maybe was supposed to have had an affair at some point. That's bleeding into my consciousness.
I mean, was he president?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well then he did.
Well, not necessarily. I think it was pre-president actually. I think it was when he was a general. But I may be getting that may be all wet. But
Danny over here slandering the greatest president from Kansas.
Maybe somebody else liked Ike a lot.
Okay, so last time you talked about this movie, My Penguin Friend, which I can't wait to see. It looks like it's going to be great.
Yeah,
I think I'd love it.
You'll have some fun watching it with your kids.
So I said that, in my opinion, he probably lived in the southeast corner of Brazil. He lived in Rio de Janeiro, right? So not really the southeast point.
Right. You mean the man?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, he must have lived, the way the movie depicts it, he must have lived sort of down the coast a few miles or something, because he's kind of in a rural seaside
Well,
area.
I looked up the real story, right? So he lives in Rio, which is big, right?
Right, yeah.
And he is a mason, not a fisherman, which last time you had said he was a fisherman.
Well, he was a fisherman in the show.
Yeah, there you go. The penguin, Dindim is his name. Yes. He is from Patagonia. Ding, ding, ding. I got that right. I guessed Patagonia. So here's the deal about these penguins. They come north to breed once a year, okay? So and they always come back to the same place, and penguins they pair off, so they always meet the same mate when they come to breed, okay? So it was during breeding season when he rescued this penguin from this oil slick, and this is why the penguin came back every year, because he basically saw this man as his mate.
His mate. I get
Okay.
it.
So he saw this human as his mate.
But
So it is a real story. True story.
Yeah, I knew it was a true story. Did they have any speculation why old Dindim didn't come back after 8 years?
I think he's probably dead, is what I'm reading into it. But I did find an old contemporaneous article to when it was happening,
Right.
and they said there's no way this penguin swims away 5,000 miles and comes back. They're like, it's improbable. There's no way this penguin can find his way back. And that's before they had put the tracker on the penguin. So then I find a later article, like 5 years later, after they'd put the tracker on the penguin, and it proves that he really was swimming away 5,000 miles. And the other thing I can't believe, so these penguins can live at sea for up to 5 months with no land. 5 months.
You mean they just live on their own blubber or something?
Well, no, they eat fish.
They eat fish.
Right?
What an idiot am I?
I just mean they're land traveling animals, but they can just live in the ocean for 5 years. That's wild to me. I don't know. Maybe it's not wild. I don't know. But it was wild to me.
Floating around for 5 months doesn't sound ideal to me, but they're adaptable. They're fish. They're mammals. I don't even know what they are, actually.
I think they're birds, right?
Yeah, I think they are too.
Aren't they just flightless birds?
Seabirds. Yeah, I know they can't fly, but
I don't know. Can you imagine? Okay, so you're a bird, but you can't fly. I mean, what's the best part about being a bird?
Being able to float for 5 months at a time, I guess. I'd say coming back to the same place 5,000 miles away would be a good thing.
I don't know. I'd love to be able to fly, Danny. I'm just telling you. I got one last fact for you. All right.
I flew all the time in my dreams when I was younger, and I could fly on call. Like I would just say, I'm going to up and fly right now, and I could do it. But as each succeeding year went on, I fly seldom.
Okay,
I almost never fly anymore.
This is so interesting. I love the dreams where I can fly. And
yes,
in mine, I don't know if this is the way it is in yours. In mine, each time I'm like, okay, I just have to remember how to do this. And there's like a thing in my brain, I got to think a certain way. And it's almost like priming a pump or something. And then I start floating a little bit. And then eventually I can fly around like Superman. I love those dreams. I generally have them after I've ridden a roller coaster or after I've skied.
Oh, I don't think there's any rhyme or reason to mine anymore, but it used to be like I could do it all the time. And I would literally like turn to somebody in the dream and say, oh, well, we'll see you later. I can fly. But then sometimes, there'd be that frustrating that you couldn't fly. For some reason you couldn't. And then you're stuck there embarrassed because you said you could fly.
You would be insufferable if you could actually fly in real life, because you would do that all the time to people.
Oh, sure.
Gotta fly.
Yeah.
Sometimes in my dream, I forget how to fly mid-flight, and I start to fall. And then I'm like, oh, shit, I gotta remember how to do this before I hit the ground. Sometimes I hit the ground and I wake up. Sometimes I remember how to fly.
Usually it's my flying is at sea, or, I'm flying long distances. I'm like, hey, I'm out here in Springfield, Massachusetts, and I got to get to Boston, so that won't be any problem. I can fly. But like I said, it happens almost never anymore. I don't know what that says, but...
Do you dream less than you used to dream?
No, but I have more no-fun dreams than I used to. Way more. Way more.
Oh my God. I have dreams sometimes where I work all night long. I wake up, I'm like, oh my God, I got to go to work. Or I'm in a spreadsheet and I'm just like spreadsheet dreaming. That was last night. I slept like crap. For 3 hours, I'm like half awake working in spreadsheets in my mind. It was just a nightmare.
My recurring dream that I have all the time these days is just that I'm on the air and I'm ill-prepared. It happens all the time. I mean, I have this dream over and over, and sometimes I'm back in Utica, and sometimes I'm at KMBZ, and sometimes I'm at WHB, and I have no script, and I'm like, it's a silly dream, too, because I could ad lib. In real life, I could ad lib and it wouldn't be any problem. But in this dream, I'm terrified for some reason.
That's basically this entire podcast.
Right. Exactly.
Okay, I got one more fact, and then we'll take a break and we'll get ourselves a beer, because I've been out for a while.
I'm on the backwash of my beer here.
So last time we talked about the Whig Party, and you were like, I think that became another party.
Yes.
And it did. It became the Republican Party.
Right.
Do you know why the Whig Party went bye-bye? What they argued over to break up?
Was it a Civil War related thing?
Yes, it was. It was slavery. So it was about the expansion of slavery into new territories. So before you go, writing love letters to the Whig Party, ones that were against slavery, they weren't trying to get rid of slavery. They were just trying to keep it from going to additional states, right?
Right. They just wanted to keep it to themselves.
They're like, no. We can make more money here.
I mean, basically, the Whig Party became the Republican Party, and what was the Republican Party became the Democratic Party, I think.
Well, eventually they swapped on positions a lot. That happened in the civil rights movement, because Lincoln was a Republican.
Yes.
And so it did become the abolition party. But it's just funny to me to think that there were enough people that saw the economic value of only, let's not let this spread. We'll just have the slaves down here. It's so evil and like conniving.
Oh, that's Machiavellian to the extreme, for sure.
No doubt. The Whigs, baby, the Whigs.
All right, we need another beer. I mean, this Leinenkugel was a good one, but it's only 12 ounces. I think I need a big 16-ounce can of some hazy IPA, which I think we got coming up next on Thirsty Thursday, Sense and Nonsense, right here.
More of Danny's Reasonably Irreverent podcast after this.
It's always great to get an update from Dr. Brad Woodle from Advanced Sports and Family Chiropractic and Acupuncture. 8 locations all around Kansas City, including the newest one in Raytown.
We are very excited to join the Raytown community. We just took over for Dr. David Frey, who retired and has then shared all of his patients with us to take great care of.
They do it all year round, and that means in the fall as well, when people get back to raking leaves and participating in fall sports, all those kinds of things, right?
Back to school means back for fun. Full backpack, we can help as your chiropractor. If you're starting fall sports, we want to make sure you have that physical, and we want to make sure you're in great shape. And if injuries happen, we've got your back.
And you've got it all around Kansas City at 8 different locations for Advanced Sports and Family Chiropractic and Acupuncture. Visit asfca.com/Danny. That's asfca.com/Danny.
Hey Kansas City, Joe Spiker, Easton Roofing, back for another beautiful springtime in Kansas City. We are proud to announce our renewed partnership with Big Brothers Big Sisters of Kansas City. Starting in 2024, a portion of every job sold will be donated to a cause close to my heart. I was a big, and I encourage you to volunteer. And if you hire us for service on your residential or commercial roof, you'll know that a portion of the profits will go to a great cause. So call us at 913-257-5426. Easton Roofing. Integrity matters.
Enjoy all the excitement of football season at the 23rd Street Brewery. From the Jayhawks and college football to the NFL and even live-streamed Lawrence High and Free State football games, you can watch it all at the 23rd Street Brewery. Enjoy the games with your favorite menu item like the Bill Self Mac and Cheese, Naked Nachos, or the Haney Turkey Stack. And wash it all down with your favorite beer like a Wave the Wheat or Crimson Fog. 23rd Street Brewery on the corner of Clinton Parkway and Cassold in Lawrence.
If you'd like to join these and other fine sponsors and market your business on Kansas City's #1 rated podcast, contact us at Danny@DannyKlinkscale.com. Look forward to working with you.
Aha!
Oh, yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. Time to don't go gulping away. Just get some power to it.